I found more growth, more healing, more understanding of my place in the world and the universe at large, itself and its nature, from the use of psychedelics than I have from anything else in my life.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're back in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here with Hippie Jesus. Is that what your name?
Yep, not just name, it's the vibe.
All right, Hippie Jesus. Tell me how you got here from Nashville.
Well, I originally was going to move to LA off of a divorce. I am the daddy of 3 boys, and I had about a 4-year-long marriage before that fell apart. And I went to LA and I had a place picked out, had the money for rent and everything to get into the place, and I had to stay in a hotel room overnight before the property management came in the next day to be able to move me in. And when I went out for a pack of cigarettes, I had some guys try to throw me into a van, and so yeah, I very narrowly escaped being trafficked. And after that, I got on the first thing smoking, and I left town, and the first Greyhound leaving the bus station happened to be to here in Vegas. So it was just a luck of the draw.
All right, man. How tall are you?
6'8".
You're 6'8"?
Yep.
You could be like a wrestler or a basketball player, huh?
Yeah, or I could be like, I don't know, a professional monument.
Yeah, you got a great personality. I could see you being a wrestler. What would your wrestler name be?
My wrestler name would have to be Fractal Fuckery.
What's that?
Like fractal mathematics or fractal geometry. It's like repetitious and looks all like chaotic. And fuckery because, well, I'd be wrecking shit.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. Did you ever get an IQ test?
Yeah, I actually have an IQ of 147. That's the top 0.13 percentile by any of the 6 standard deviations.
Little time that I spent with you, I could tell you have a very high IQ. 147 IQ would qualify you to be what?
Top 0.13 percentile.
Neurosurgeon, astrophysicist, yeah. So how far did you get in school?
I got my good enough degree, that's what GED stands for. And I had dropped out my last time in my senior year.
Oh, okay. But did you ever, you didn't go on to college or?
I took a credit hour of sociology and a credit hour of psychology, but that was just while I was already enrolled in high school. So it was kind of like, extra side classes. But that was it, just 1 credit hour of each.
And having a high IQ like that, were you able to get high-paying job?
Well, just a year before last, I was making $135,000 in my annual salary as an IT specialist. My last contract was this as a cybersecurity consultant for CL Alpha, the sole proprietorship of Adam Clark Joseph, the CFO and founder of Bachelor, the company that discovered Zantac causes cancer. Self-contracted. And I've run different entrepreneurial pursuits throughout my life, managed music bands, stuff like that.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30?
Yep.
You're young, man.
Yep.
And what drugs are you using?
Well, I use everything except for benzos and alcohol. My drug of choice is LSD, psychedelics, so they're where my heart is, absolutely. I found more growth, more healing, more understanding of my place in the world and the universe at large, itself and its nature, from the use of psychedelics than I have from anything else in my life. My life's journey started from my first DMT experience. And so, yeah, but my daily users are marijuana and meth. I'm as white trash as it gets. Mountain Dew, Doritos, and meth. 3 staples of white trash diet.
What about Fetty? You do Fetty?
Here and there I do opiates, but I try and stay away from them. I've seen too many of my friends wind up going down that road and wind up dead. I only use them for pain management. Outside of that, I refuse to use them for recreational use.
If someone wanted to help you that's watching this video, do you have an email address or social media you could share with us?
I absolutely do. That would be Vox Populi with 2 X's before, 3 in the middle, and 2 at the end.
Protonmail?
Protonmail.com.
What led you to LSDs? Why'd you go to LSD instead of other drugs?
I wound up trying it as a random trade for the last quarter of a fifth of some rot gut bottom shelf vodka at a college party up in Michigan when I was 17, just shy of turning 18. And I'd already done mushrooms once or twice before that, and I had a very major interest in psychedelics and their potential for personal growth and spiritual development. And after I had my first trip on LSD with a buddy of mine that night at that party, I fell in love. I've been able to find countless experiences of healing and growth and coming to a self-awareness of a higher level than what I'd prior had, all thanks to the use of LSD and other psychedelic therapies. That includes ketamine as well. Ketamine may be associated, not a psychedelic, but it's like a cousin to acid. I very much so believe in the value of psychedelics and their place in any psychologist's toolkit. And the fact of the matter is, psychedelic therapy is on the rise, and it's on the horizon of our mainstream treatments now. And how LSD is in phase 3 clinical trial experimental testing at this point by the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, which I signed up for being a test subject for. And always been legal since January 2019 because this stuff cures PTSD and all sorts of shit.
So you sound like your mental faculties are still intact. Are you interested in getting clean or going into a rehab? Or?
I'm actually working on getting moved into a sober living house right now. That's
great.
Right here in the area. I've already contacted and talked to the owner of it, and I've got to contact them and do a follow-up with them. But hopefully I will actually be in sober living in the next week or two.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep, baby steps.
What do you want to see yourself in 2 years?
In 2 years, I want to see myself in a stable living situation, back doing something that I love, whether that's being a carny again, because I was also a carny at one point.
A what?
I loved that. A carny.
Can you explain what a carny is? I know
like balloon darts and stuff like that. I was a games guy at the carnival. So I made all my money off of my commission. So every penny that went in my pocket went from running my mouth. And I'm really good at running my mouth, and I love bringing smiles to people's faces. If not that, then it's something else that I love, and just trying to find something that finds me being able to help other people that have been in my position.
All right, so how do you make money out here on the streets?
I fly signs. I entertain people. I refuse to be a handout in a charity case, so I don't ask for money. I fly signs like the one Mother's Day weekend last year that made me a meme, actually, and Instagram viral. It said, "My mom should have swallowed."
My mom what?
My mom should have swallowed.
Oh, okay.
Mother's Day weekend last year. Or where the f*** is Jiminy Cricket? It's your conscience, if you remember Pinocchio. I've got a whole slew of them that I love to use. My last one said, "Please just blow your wad on me."
Oh, wow. Do you ever get propositioned out here?
It actually happens routinely. I even had one guy who tried to proposition me 3 different times in the course of 2 days and forgot that it was me every single time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame, but people like to prey on us homeless thinking that we are so up creek and so financially in duress that we will do just about anything, sell our souls practically to be able to get a couple of dollars in our pocket. Either that or they'll try and take advantage of their presumption that we have an addiction that they can feed to be able to enable us to get us to do things for them sexually. And it's a shame. It really is.
So do you ever go out on dates with them?
There have been 1 or 2 times that I have actually gone out with somebody who had approached me, but that was because they had approached me in a very respectful way and had been very much so gentleman about it. And there was never a promise of any sexual interaction. It was just a let's see how things go kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were respectful of those boundaries as well. And I'm already hetero-flexible, so
You're what?
Hetero-flexible. Basically, it's like I'm attracted to women, but sexually gay things have happened, and it's okay. And I'm not opposed to it, but it's not something that I seek at the same time. But yeah, so it's not something totally outside my comfort zone, and I'm not opposed to sex work for anybody as long as it's done in an ethical and an educated manner.
Did you grow up with both parents?
I grew up with both my parents until I was like 12 or 13 years old. Then I went into foster care.
Oh, you were in the
And,
system.
Yeah, I was a ward of the state till I turned 18. And most of that time, I wasn't in the group homes. I was on the streets because I would run away, because it was psychologically better for me on my own than it was in the group homes, where it was very much so psychologically abusive and very neglectful.
Were you ever abused as a child?
Yeah, physically abused and sexually abused, as well as psychologically.
By who?
My stepfather was who did the bulk of the physical abuse, the violence. My older brother, he's 3 years older than me. He was the culprit of raping me for 2-3 years.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
From 10 to 12 years old. And yeah, it's a lot to process, even still today, all these years later, but it is what it is.
What do you think about when you're out here on the streets during the day, during the night?
I wonder how many of the people that I think about from my life before I wound up out here in Vegas on the streets, how many of them actually take the time in their day to think about me and wonder to themselves how I'm doing and if I'm okay, and if I'm happy, if anything about me, just that even have me cross their minds, or how much my mom might wonder about me, because I don't get any sort of contacts. Nobody reaches out to me, but that's largely my own fault, because I self-isolated before my divorce finalized, and so I kind of cut ties with almost everybody, and now I kind of feel lonely.
If they see this video, what's your message to your mom and your dad?
Mom, I wish she would take the time to get to know me instead of thinking that you know me, instead of just keeping me at arm's length and having a topical, superficial relationship with me. I wish that you would show me that you actually want to have an active relationship. I feel like there's so much potential that we've been squandering in the heights of that, the depth of it, the amount of love that could be there. Dad, well, stop being my dad the day that you started to call my ex-wife a mixed breed mutt to her face. I don't know where the old dad went, but I miss him. I don't like this bigot that you've turned into.
Do you meditate out here, or?
Yeah, I actually practice yoga, and I also do Zen style meditation.
That's awesome. What's your advice for young people wanting to get into hard drugs?
Think long and hard about it before you do it. And if you're just absolutely bound, determined to go and do some experimenting with drugs, then, well, if I had to recommend anything, it'd be psychedelics. They're self-limiting and they also cure addiction. Whereas also they won't, you can't overdose on them either. And so, but even regardless of what it is that you choose to try and experiment with, just know that there are very real consequences to these very real choices that you're making. And just know that these are not decisions that you will make that will have very, very short-lived consequences. These things will have repercussions that reverberate and echo throughout your life. Some may linger, and some may just snowball into a catastrophe. There are addictive personalities and non-addictive personalities. And the odds are you're an addictive personality. You might want to think twice. And if you're going to do it, harm reduction, harm reduction, harm reduction.
Thank you for that. How about some lighter questions real quick? What's the title of your bio?
Gyarados.
Gyarados?
Yeah, it's the name of the evolution of Magikarp in Pokemon. He's a dragon, like an Eastern style dragon.
Yeah.
It's because I'm a Pisces, and in China and Japan, the myth of dragons is that they come to exist from koi fish that swim upstream during their mating season, like salmon do, that make it to the top of the stream and the mountaintops. And once they reach the fountainhead of the streams and rivers, they turn into these dragons. So you go from a bottom feeder that the whole culture thinks is just disgusting and won't touch with a 10-foot pole, let alone eat, into these things of wisdom and power and awesomeness.
Amen. You are awesome, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this interview. It was a pleasure.
It's an honor. I hope that I was able to touch somebody and influence somebody's lives in a positive manner.
You believe in God?
Dude, with all the shit that's laid out in front of us and all the things that we experience day to day, how can you not believe in God?
Well, God bless you, my friend.
God bless you too.
All right, buddy.